Hello and welcome back to the Shmuseum. Another day with a lot to talk about. Today we're actually going to be touching a bit on financing the Shmeemobiles, the car collection, and you will notice that it's all been shuffled around a little bit. So this entire line, by the way, are cars financed with approved motor finance. So I've known for a very long time, have been looking after all of the cars in my collection. So we've parked everything very temporarily because later on, approved are going to be coming down. We can talk more about that, but also we need to do some more cleaning of the garage. Now the middle section is actually looking pretty good. We're getting some tire prints very quickly, but where all of these cars are currently parked, behind them, or underneath them I should say, is currently filthy. So we will need to effectively have a lot of cold starts, a lot of moving and shuffling, and we've got a few other things obviously around at the moment as well. We've got the M3 and the RS3 side by side. We've got Brad's Abarth 124, we've got the two visiting cars, and then over towards this end, we've got the hatches, the four-wheel drives, we can say, right? The three four-wheel drive cars. And then there's a mountain of car covers behind on top of the Clio, which is kind of funny. It's just the way things have gone. So today, I want to chat a little bit more about financing cars, about the money side and managing a collection and working things out, because it's got very complicated with the likes of the GT Black Series, which you now know is in the air somewhere, the SLS, which isn't here, the GT500 over in the US, and the other cars as they get older as well. Some of the cars I've owned now for, well, 5.5 years on the 675 LT, for example, and even these two, believe it or not, that's going to come up to, well, nearly 4 years pretty shortly in terms of the funding side. We can talk about that. So we'll have a run through of that. Approved are going to come down in something pretty cool themselves, and then later on, I suspect Tom and Brad might get up to some antics with some attempts at cleaning up some things here in the garage. The money side of cars is often a very crude topic. When it comes to financing, funding, buying outright, whatever it might be, we often don't like to talk about money. It's a very complicated one when it comes to finance itself. No two people are ever going to be in exactly the same situation in terms of affordability, monthly payments, deposits, what they want to do with cars, desires, objectives. There are so many other things about it. Now, I've financed quite a few cars over the years, for example, back with my Audi S5, my V8 Vantage Roadster originally, and it made it possible to get into cars at the time that I could only dream of. I had an income that could cover the expenses, the monthly payments, and it made that happen, which was crazy, to be honest. More recently, obviously, the collection has grown quite a lot, and it was particularly the arrival of these two which presented quite a big problem. The Senna and the Ford GT, the two most expensive cars, even to date, that I've ever bought, arrived a day apart. So this, logistically, but also financially, was a very, very, very big stretch for me. And this is where finance really stepped in, and particularly the team who are now approved motor finance, who are going to be visiting us a little bit later, made all of this happen. We talked about it at the time. We talked about everything that had gone into basically making this work, because it was a huge leap for me financially, as I said, for cars like this, a big step up. Obviously, in the collection in general, I have as much equity as I can, building up with the asset values of everything. But with these, it was a case of how can we structure this, particularly with the GT, where effectively a 50% deposit was required before the car was even built. So the best part of £300,000 as a deposit before it exists. That's a big capital upfront payment, hence a very unique setup, particularly with what I do with the cars now. So for example, some of the cars that I'm going to keep for a longer time, I've financed, I've gone in with it, at the time maybe paid it off. Some I've refinanced. So for example, the GT8, when it was new, I actually didn't have financed. I bought it outright at the time. I refinanced it as a car that I'm going to keep for a while, wanted to pull out some capital. You can do that as cars get a little bit older. This car is of course about 5 years old now, and it meant basically that this would work very well for what I do in the garage. And probably the most interesting example of this is about the GT Black Series. So the SLS I bought outright at the time. When the GT Black Series was going to arrive earlier in the year, I was thinking, I want to do some cool stuff with this, respray it, Opus modifications to it, send it around the world. So basically what I decided to do was to buy the GT outright, GT Black Series. To do that, I released some equity against the SLS, which meant that I had the capital to do so, because the SLS now takes more of a, I'm not going to say a back seat, but a slightly less frontal role, let's say, in the channel, in the videos. So it's a little bit safer to kind of do that. I'm not going to do so much with it. So it varies massively from car to car. And when it comes to the garage, there are different types of financing, hire purchase, PCPs. There are lots and lots of different things in different countries. Leasing, of course. And I go a different way with things like, you know, the Yaris and the Focus RS. Those obviously are outright cars, makes more sense that way. Some cars, it just depends from car to car what the best option is. But we're going to talk a bit more about this. Approved are going to be here shortly, and they should be coming with something pretty cool. We hear the sound of a V10 arriving. We have, wait for it, a very nice Lamborghini Huracan Performante with Krish. Welcome.
Hi Tim, how you doing?
All good. Come on in, bring the car in, bring the car in. We've got to get the Lambos basically facing each other. Very cool. Bright green, bronze gold wheels. That's very nice. Right, we'll get that parked up somewhere, have a chat with Krish. Welcome.
Tim, nice to see you again.
Likewise. So Krish has been responsible for financing pretty much every car I've bought for the last 3 or 4 years.
Yes.
You came here for the first time when it did not look anything like this.
Nothing like this. Amazing with all the beautiful colours, as I expected.
Under the bright lights.
Yeah.
And the most recent car that we did is probably the one we should go straight over
Yeah,
to.
the one I'm most eager to see, actually.
The Lamborghini Huracan STO. Now, funny story behind getting all the paperwork for this done is that basically it came down to the car arriving, it was about 6 weeks early from what we expected, and Lamborghini Pangborn called and said, yeah, it's going to be here in a few days. Can you collect it as fast as possible, please? Which obviously means paying for it as fast as possible. No complaints about that, but it did mean that when we got the paperwork through and you'd pull together all of the numbers, after the James Bond premiere, we had to meet up late at the night to get everything signed.
We had a very short window, so it needs must,
But you made it happen. What do you think about it?
Absolutely stunning. The colour is incredible. I don't think you can actually appreciate until you see it up in person, under the lights and sort of the sparkle effect.
Yeah, the glitter explosion, basically.
Yeah.
The colour of that thing is mad. Now, I think there are a few really interesting topics to talk about with financing. One is this and the speed, basically.
Yes.
Like how it's possible, depending on circumstances, what's going on, what the person is like, what the car is like, credit histories, the introductions you've made, the different companies you work with. Right? You have a big, I'm not sure, how do you describe it?
We've got a big lending panel, so exactly what you've just described. I mean, different people have different circumstances. There's a lot of other factors in the background. Some people need deals done quicker than others, like this instance. We had a very short window where we come into play. Our relationship with the lenders really does kind of pull through, and I think that the speed that we've done this kind of demonstrated that.
Genuinely, you get a message from me saying, is there any chance that we can do it? And this is vaguely the kind of criteria, because with financing, there's terms of agreement, there's mileage, there's all sorts of other things. And I have a pretty good idea of what I'm going to ask you for each car. And then it all has to kind of be pulled together. But you did an amazing job with that, so thank you.
No problem.
As always, like, it's probably been about 20 cars now.
Yes, it is. It's tallying up, for sure.
So we talked about a lot of them. And I think this is where these two become quite interesting. I was just talking about how complicated it was to initially fund them. But also now we have the coming towards the end of their policies, right? Towards the end, towards the balloons, and what we do next.
Yes. Exactly. So both these cars, like you said, arrived very short space between each other. It's now coming to sort of the end of the agreement. So balloon payments now become a reality. But also both cars have sort of different sort of values in the real world. So there's actually more options available to you. The GT, of course, is appreciating in value since we first did the agreement. So there's options for you to release equity to make other beautiful car purchases.
Like, well, this is the really interesting thing, right? This is coming up towards the end of its agreement. There's a balloon, but it's a small value relative to the whole car. And it puts us in a position potentially of opening a new agreement against it. And this is where it's a very bespoke thing. And with a very big arrival coming to the garage very soon.
There is.
That might be something that would help. And of course, that's still a fair way off, but we're talking about how this setup will look and obviously what will be part of it, because it's extremely complicated.
There is.
Right. We'll get there.
We'll get there. We'll get there, I'm sure. We'll get there.
It will work. So we've got some options around these two. C63 Black Series was another interesting one.
It was.
Because we were talking about different ways of doing that, buying it outright or taking a finance package on it. And I think this is where probably finance people don't necessarily realize that it can be quite affordable, especially on a car like that. Values are staying very strong. You can put in a deposit, you can have a monthly payment, it's not going to be crazy. and it makes that like dream car possible, right?
Absolutely, it's more achievable than I think a lot of people realise. The C63 Black in particular fell in a strange space where it almost became it's almost a modern classic. So for most lenders, that's a 10-year-old car. The C63 was obviously a 9-year-old car.
Yes.
So that was a small problem to overcome. It wasn't anything major, but I think once we sort of discussed the numbers and you realised sort of how affordable it was, it almost became a bit of a no-brainer, I think, at that point.
Definitely, yeah. So that's why we went down that path. And the other thing, if we come over towards the other side quickly, is to talk EVs, of course,
yes.
and to talk about the Taycan, which is not here at the moment, but the Charger lives over on this wall. I think it's an interesting new world as well, financing that kind of car.
Absolutely.
People don't realise, and for me, for example, the Taycan was a leap of faith. I don't know what I'm doing, buying an electric car, but we again pulled it off, because remember I called the dealer, they managed to find me a car and they were like, can you pick it up quite soon?
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm really bad at doing this to Krish, and the team had approved. But yeah, it works in the same kind of way, right?
Yeah, and I think the EVs is becoming more and more reality that most people for the next 10, 15 years are going to be buying electric vehicles. But at Approved as well, we've got a big business finance division, so we can actually help with business purchases, and actually with electric vehicles there's massive tax advantages,
which we also talked about as well in terms of this, because this makes the cars look quite small in general, so this has been a big business commitment, and also with the build and works we've got coming here as well, and that's a whole other part of the business and how it all works, I guess.
Absolutely, yeah,
from both sides. But I think that's a bit of an insight into financing for the cars, and the fact that it's always very different and perhaps more achievable in some cases than you might think as well. So thanks for coming down, and thanks for bringing this down as well.
No problem. Thank you very much for having us. Good to see all the cars together. I know there's a couple missing, but beautiful nonetheless.
I'm going to spend a bit of time having a look at this one, see how they compare, STO, Performante. We've been taking a bit of a look then. It's interesting to see the Performante and the STO and the differences, and that might be something to do a bit of a back-to-back with.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm just very glad for the last 4 or 5 years you've always dreamt about having your cars in one place, so beautiful to see everything together in one space.
Yeah, quite literally like this, all of which you've been a part of.
Yes, financing. Glad to help. And actually one of our slogans is finance your dream, so here we are.
You made it happen, you made it happen. And I think that's one of the really interesting things, right? Everybody's circumstances are different.
Absolutely.
It's about creating a bespoke
Definitely,
package.
It's the key word is bespoke. I think the key for us is give us a call, let us understand what you're trying to achieve in the background, and we'll bespoke your agreement for your individual circumstances.
And I can speak from experience from my end, that's exactly what you've done, because this has been very complicated. Everything to do with this has been very complicated, but getting in touch, having those conversations, that's key to financing a supercar.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Or otherwise, any kind of car, to be honest.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming down to the Performante.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Absolute pleasure. And yeah, fantastic.
Yes.
Now that sounds pretty good. We are saying farewell then, for the moment, to the Performante. Out it heads. Farewell to the Performante for now. We've got a lot of stuff we need to get on with, and we've just had a delivery of something I want to show you guys as well. Let's come and take a look then at this parcel. Now, this is in response to something that lots of you guys have pointed out. Given we've put up our new office, our makeshift temporary gazebos, a few people suggested we should get a rug or something like that. So we went a little bit crazy on eBay and found the perfect rug, cut to the same size as this, which I'm now going to endeavour to try and work out how to open on video. And I probably should have done this earlier, Blue Peter style, but let's give this a go. At the moment, no clues at all of what's coming, but just stay tuned, because this is going to be worth it, believe me. This had better be some serious anticipation for anybody watching right now, because oh, we're getting somewhere. We need to cut off some more tape. Oh, okay. Oops. Are you ready, guys? Let's come into the middle of the room a little bit more. Ta-da! Nearly there. Oh my gosh. This is the biggest rug I've ever bought. Okay, you ready? Ta-da! Like a kid's town playmat. This is amazing. This is really heavy. Opening these various parts. Oh my gosh. Oh good, I've got Brad's help down the other end. Oh, there we go. Now I just need to get some toy cars and push them around. Oh, I'm quite tired from that. I shouldn't have been so tired. We've got a hospital. We've got a bus stop. We've got the park. We've got enough parking spaces in the garage. We've got a Brad.
It's massive.
It's amazing.
Ridiculous.
It's amazing to think that this is the size of that gazebo inside, because this feels huge out here. I'm completely out of breath. That was really quite hard work. This place is literally like a grown-up kid's toy room. We have our tarmac Mini GT Shmeemobile McLaren Senna, and it is about the right size. The only question is, which side of the road does it drive on? Are we right-hand drive, left-hand drive? I don't know. But yeah, so it's about perfect, isn't it? Never grow up. Never ever grow up. Fantastic. We might not have those though in the office because they'll probably get trodden on. That wouldn't be so pleasant. But this is a little bit nicer than the concrete floor for the office.
It's time to make a start with cleaning some more of the floor then, and we have a bit of a dilemma.
Well, when the approved guys came, we thought it would be an idea just to bury this out of the way in the storeroom, which was fine because it went in forwards. Now it has to come out backwards.
Yeah, we didn't think of this bit.
No.
But
you know, let's press on.
I did move this a bit out of the way.
You did. And there's going to be some beeping noises. So
Yeah. You just have to go straight back.
The beeping's far
Just
louder.
make sure you don't hit anything.
I'm trying. I think we're out. We're out.
Okay, I'm gonna come back over here. And you can almost do a full 360 now.
Give it the turning circle.
Don't hit the Clio. Nice.
I mean,
Okay. We've got some smart chargers that we need to move.
I wouldn't worry about that.
Well, as long as where are you going? Oh, okay, we've lost Tom. Don't go on our rug either. Here he is. So, this is the Tenant T7 from Cleaning Equipment Services Limited.
It is. The guys very kindly reached out after they saw Louis in a few videos back.
Poor Louis. I miss Louis.
So do I, but basically they said, look, you've got the wrong thing. And we kind of knew at the time it was a bit of a joke and it would have done something, but they said, look, we have the right machine for you. We'll get it sent out and see what you guys think of it. Now, whilst you and Tim were collecting the Audi RS3, I've been cracking on with quite a bit in here, and I think the best thing to do is if we have a look underneath this row of cars.
Let's come over here, let's go.
You'll see the difference in colour from where it has and hasn't been done.
Here's the difference. So it's the difference of this here to this over here.
And it just shows how much dust, shows how much dust has built up on the floor. So obviously I've left this bit specifically for you guys to be able to see the difference and what's soon to be our office area. The bit I didn't specifically leave was where the G-Wagon was parked because...
And again, that's another good bit to see. Can you move over a bit and we'll go over there together.
You're going to have to do pedals, I'll do steering.
You steer, right, hold on.
Guys, if only you could see this. But what we will get is the reaction of a man who's not overly impressed. It works.
Right, that will do.
Off we get.
Yeah, the floor difference you can see quite well over here.
This wasn't purposely left, but Tim decided not to leave me the G-Wagon key because, well, I wasn't here in time on that particular day. But
or he may have forgot that he had a G-Wagon key in his pocket, but...
Whatever the real reason is, I didn't have the key, so this little bit needs to be done. Also, I think we're going to have to find a way to move the simulator out of the way and do underneath that. We're going to have to do underneath the Sega Rally, which isn't going to be that difficult because that moves really easily on wheels. The bit that's going to be a struggle is our office now. But I think we could probably do a 2-in-1, and we can get a few bits out, clean it, get the rug in and down, and then put everything back. So that's going to be the mission for the rest of today.
But first, we need to cold start every single car from the LT all the way down the line round to the RS3. We need to cold start them and move them.
I had kind of forgotten that we were going to... I don't know why I hadn't realised we were going to need to cold start everything to move them, but you're right.
Right, so I think we need all hands on deck. We'll have to go and see if Tim is free. I can just see him through there. See if he's free for 10 minutes to come and help us move every single thing. I'm taking the RS3, so I'm going to run that outside, because then that's it out the way. Yeah,
and so we're being left with the Mazda again.
Yeah, yeah. My Mazda is staying in there. Well, it's not staying there. It's got to be moved as well, but it's going to stay somewhere.
Okay, well, let's
in
crack
here.
on, get that done, and we'll probably end up with a large scatter of cars. But for now, we need help.
Tim! First up, Brad's got the RS3. Yep. I've got a pile of keys. Tom's got a pile of keys.
I've got a couple.
It's Christmas.
Right, cold start time, number 1.
Nice, not bad. Right, I need to take this watch and go do the 675 all the way up to the other end and somehow sit in the cars and work out how we're doing this.
I'm not going to lie, I'm quite happy with my choices.
You've got
GT8, Senna, and GTR Roadster. Good trio of cars.
That's quite loud.
Do you know what? For something with OPFs, it's impressively loud. Still not as loud as it should be, but in the modern age, it's one of the loudest cars out there.
Right,
you need this.
Yes, let's swap.
You've got the camera right.
So we're doing these two first, right? So LT is going... You're taking the LT, I believe.
I'm taking this home, so I can get this on the floor.
Tom, what are you taking home?
To be decided.
Right, let me run around the back. This has got to be a fast exercise. LT is on. Right, time for the roadster. Oh, it's a lot quieter than that, but still sounds great. Let's get these two moved. I don't know where Tom's putting it. It's going somewhere over this way. This is chaos.
Next up.
Cool. You're taking the STO? Yep.
STO's going somewhere.
Where's Tom? We need this to be faster.
I don't know where it's going to go. Over here somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere. Tom, we need to be faster. Come on.
The problem is I realised I went too far forward, so I have to come back.
Perfect. Right. I don't know where that's going, but you can really see how dirty this floor is. Oh, Senna! Wicked. Yeah, this floor, compared to the shiny area, focus. Is it going to focus? There we go. Yeah. Tip, come on. We don't have time to rev. Tim is making our life difficult. We don't have time to rev.
What?
We don't have time to rev.
Where am I leaving this? Here?
I don't know. Maybe. Tom, are we leaving this one here?
We're leaving that there.
I don't know, are we?
It'll work.
Okay, next.
Such a mess.
I love that sound.
You may be winning, but as good as that sounds, we all know this is the best sounding car in here.
Let's go. Where is Tim going? So where are we putting these? Where's this going to go? In that gap? Maybe? Behind the LT?
Somewhere in that one block. Would help if I unlocked the car, right?
It would.
He's massively ahead now.
Now that's a sound. That's a sound. Oh, you've got the same issue. Thomas slowed you down. Trickle out. Let's go. We are very, very quickly. That's a lot quieter than that. We're very quickly running out of space. I don't know where this one is going. Oh, what a lovely sound. This is interesting. Who's got the M3 key?
I do.
Should we do the M3?
No, I can stay where it is for now. I think we'll get this section done because then that does enable us to put some cars back.
True.
And then we can take those ones and put them into this space now. And then put those back. And then finally get those bits moved and do the G space and the office and I'm saying this, I don't know this is how it's going to work.
So basically, that's enough cold starts for now. Where have you put the floor cleaner?
We might have an issue.
Come over this way. So I just wanted to figure out where the floor cleaner's been put, and Tom has decided to leave it right here behind every single car.
I reckon I can get it around the front of the RS3.
I think I'm going to drive it.
You can go away. This is the best thing in here.
Tom forgot that we needed to...
When I parked the LT there, I was like, that's why I put the STO where I did.
It'll be fine.
Where are you going?
Wait, Tom, safety first. Hold on. Come back.
No,
there you go. Safety first.
Steady, steady, steady.
Mind the RS3.
Mind the go-kart.
That's and that. Perfect.
So now it's going to be time to get this turned on, and well, we need to clean some trickle charges and then get this tidy.
I better go and check what they're doing. I can hear things being thrown around. What have you guys done to the Clio?
Building the car cover tower.
All I did was drove over here on the floor cleaner, and I saw both of you throwing car. That's not going to stay up there, is it?
Camouflage.
It almost does match.
It'll work. Right, let's clean some floor.
Many questions need to be asked.
What is going on?
The garage manager is managing the garage. Fair play.
Yeah. Tom, you missed a bit.
Managed to find a zip tie. We've needed something.
You missed a bit. Right, go on, keep going.
Say it again and watch what happens.
What, are you going to chase me on that thing? Because I know I'm faster than that.
Until you hit a wall.
Yeah, until we hit walls.
What?
What? Yeah, I don't hit walls in here on, not cars.
Meanwhile, I have pockets full of many keys.
Small
I don't know
electric.
what I'm doing.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Why is it the manufacturers always use black and silver?
I don't know, let me see what have
Apart
I
from
got?
McLaren, where I customised
Here we
it.
go. Black and silver.
And there's black and silver.
I think
Apart
I've
from
got, what have I got? Black and silver? Yeah.
It's the go-to thing.
It's the way to do it. So, this is basically the start to clean the floor. We've got some scrubbers underneath. I think, Tom, is there 2 scrubbers underneath?
There is 2. Yeah,
2 scrubbers underneath.
2 rotating discs that are probably, well, over there we've got the spare one.
Yeah, we'll have to have a
they're
look.
about 20 inches wide or so.
And then we have obviously water and soap or cleaning detergent that goes in as well. It all comes out and it just scrubs and cleans the floor. Now the cool thing, this has a hoover and this squeegee at the back drops. So when you want to dry the floor, which we have done, we don't want to keep it wet all the time, it works.
So the advice we were given by the chap that dropped it off is that you're probably best not activating the hoover immediately, let the fluid go down and the cleaning solution dig in and work, and then on your second pass, I think I heard a cover fall.
Yeah.
On your second pass is when you then turn the vacuum and the squeegee on and get everything picked up. So.
Right, I'm gonna let you carry on. Shall we go and see what just happened?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just, I heard covers.
Stuff everywhere.
Don't use your phone while driving or riding. Let's go over here. It didn't sound good.
The tower, it's just one.
There's a cover on the floor. Everyone must be so confused why this place looks so messy right now.
I'm confused why this place looks so messy.
Well, obviously we're trying to fix this, but yeah. How high can you get it? There we go.
Should we go for a ride in the Clio?
There we go. What, like this?
I love that he is being a proper manager right now. Like, he's on the phone, or he's riding the cleaning floor thingy bob. Like,
To put it short, this is kind of his job. Well, not necessarily to go and clean floors and stuff, but to make sure the garage,
probably,
to make sure this museum is maintained, and he's maintaining the floor of this museum right now.
he's probably booking a car in for service or checking something.
We're all doing what we're meant to do. I'm filming, this is what I'm meant to do.
I'm overseeing,
Yeah.
moving cars around, I don't know.
Being on camera, running around with keys and cars. Yeah, this works.
But you know what? We obviously haven't had that wall completely void of cars since the day we moved here. And having all the plug sockets and things in advance of lifts in the future, car lifts going down that wall, is obviously a pretty good sense of where it's going and how it's all going to be, and how many cars you can squeeze in if you have to.
Yeah, and we could definitely pack these up a lot tighter.
Did you have a very important phone call?
it was fairly important. It was to tell me that my beloved C63 has flown through its service and is ready to collect.
Perfect.
So I'm not rushing off to do it just yet, but I'll probably go and grab that first thing in the morning if that's okay.
Yeah, too busy rocking this.
Yeah, exactly.
You should drive this there.
Take it all the way around the M25.
Might take a little while if we did that. And as much as Louis had number plates, this doesn't. So I think we'll take the RS3 and we'll collect the C63, but probably coming never or in another video. We'll see. Anyway, back to it.
Well, this is different. The floor is very, very wet.
It's a bit wet. Obviously, you probably shouldn't. Well, I'll tell you what. We know what.
Shall we do the same?
Yeah,
thing?
go
you
on,
shuffle
jump
over.
on. We'll share half a chair each.
Obviously, it's slippy up here. Right.
You can do power, which is dangerous. You haven't letting you near the throttle of anything.
We're fine. Okay. Well, this looks good.
Yes. So this is round 1 done, and over here we now that everything's down, we can turn the vacuum on.
Oh, and start hoovering.
Which will drop down in a bit, and we can start collecting some of this water. This feels.
Are we going too fast?
Well, it has just probably, yeah. I mean, well, you know, it's a test of speed. Right?
Now, should we turn the water down? Because surely it's still going to dump out.
Yeah, we can turn the water down. Just can even close the flaps. Just rock on, and now if we was to just do a straight loop, obviously it's not what you'd normally do. You'd normally go down, but now we can see the difference
between wet and dry. And you can hear behind us if I try and turn around and drop in the camera. That's what's going on.
We'll take a wide line around here, hit the apex. Okay, maybe not, but
flat foot. Let's go over into that corner. Oh, my poor car can't move.
No, your car's a bit stuck at the moment, but it's fine. You're taking the RS3 home tonight, which can move.
True.
So we're all good. So I might have accidentally run over someone's bar of chocolate.
I don't know why that's there.
We need to clean that up. I mean, I'm not gonna.
I don't like that thing.
I'm not pointing fingers, but the bar of chocolate has German writing on it, and it was in one of the AMGs after your Black Series tour. So I'm not pointing fingers, but
I think we blame Joe.
Let's blame Joe.
We'll blame Joe.
Joe, stop leaving chocolate in our cars. Anyway, we're going to keep going.
This is very sketchy.
It is. I'm not going to lie. At some point, we should probably go back to doing this properly. But
you know what we need to show them?
If we come back here, what do we need to show them?
The horn.
It's ridiculous. It's the same as the reverse buzzer. It's not a horn. It's just a weird beep. We have a problem.
Have I gone too slow?
No. So the waste tank is full.
Okay, so we need to
I've
go
just heard the vacuum. So we're going to have to
that edge.
Well, we're going to have to get it outside to the drain on our wash bay.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So start. Tell you what, guys. Brad, anything motorised, dangerous. Very dangerous.
Me and this thing are not a good mix. We can't tell you why, but me and this thing are not a good mix.
No, there's been a few crashes. So this is actually really easy to empty. It's too dark outside to actually show you at the moment.
No, we'll do it. We have a light. We'll go outside and do it.
Brad's got a solution. Let's go. The way to empty this is super simple. You just got this hose on the back. Now you got to do this very quickly. I've already learned this one. So we've got to undo this, and can feel the pressure already. And there we go.
So that's all the dirty water that was on the the dirt on the floor is now in dirty water.
Yep, and that tank is just, I don't know if you'll be able to see, but it's up there, and it's a bit foamy in there.
It's going down.
But that is draining very rapidly. It doesn't smell too pleasant.
Back inside then. The little warning light is gone, which is good. And I guess we can carry on with the cleaning. So turn it on. The hoover drops. Well, the hoover's turned on and the squeegee drops. Look at that. Right, so anyway, we were going to do it over here by my car, which I'll do. And fingers crossed I don't hit anything. Just take it nice and slow as we come round. Near the Gunther. Good, all is good. Just come up near my car. Yeah, that's it, don't hit it. All the M3, obviously. But as you can see, we are good. We are all good. Nice. Right, and now, if we come back over this way, you can really start to see the difference between, yes, it's a little bit wet, but you can really start to see the difference between clean and not clean.
Now you may be wondering why I'm stood here with our coat rack. It's because we've just emptied everything out of the office to get the rug laid down, and it's actually been a huge success. So guys, if you come this way, we'll get this put back away. You guys head on in.
Oh my... Wow. We're all big kids, aren't we?
This is the ultimate big kid like office. I mean, look at that view right now as well, by the way. With the cars pointing straight in through the lovely plastic windows.
This.
I think what we now need to do is, well, I certainly can't wait for the rest of the 5 1/64 scale models to come out, and then we can all play cars.
Yeah, we're going to spend all day sitting on the floor playing with cars around this.
I say that as though we don't play with cars every day anyway.
Just smaller cars.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, that way you can crash them and it's not really a concern, right?
I just find it funny that the garage is full of all of that stupid stuff, and the office is like this cheapy gazebo with floor mats.
These hanging up in the ceiling.
I mean, in fairness, I think a lot of the guys in the comments think exactly the same thing. It's like you've got millions of pounds worth of cars in a dedicated unit with...
And we use a sound systems speaker box
yeah.
Yes.
TV stand.
But it works.
But it works, and this is the thing. I know we could get nicer things, but we're moving into the proper office soon, and that's when we will, you know, start to level up the decorations a bit.
Very, very early in the new year, because it will be winter time and there's so little else to do, is when all of that is going to be built, and it will be done properly. And we'll go from like this super cheap on the fly temporary office to like something really fancy.
Yes. And without wanting to reveal too much, I think you're probably ready to go through the plans with these guys quite soon.
We are. It's something I've been wanting to do for a while, but obviously until we've got it all completed, I can't share everything. But we have some amazing renders, a wonderful like virtual walkthrough of the office.
Yes. The company we have picked to do this are absolutely phenomenal. We couldn't have picked anyone better, so a huge thank you to them. They know who they are, and so will you guys soon. But yeah, I can't wait to get that done.
Well, we're going to wrap things up in a minute. One of us is clearly having a rest.
Making use of the lounge space we have in the office.
Tom's been working hard cleaning the floor.
Yes, he has indeed, and there will clearly be a little bit more needed, but it's great to have that finally looking a bit more like it did on the day we moved in here. But pretty much for today, that is probably all. We've obviously had the guys from Approved down. Great to catch up with Krish and talk as well about what we're doing behind the scenes. And as he said, I think just before leaving, do get in touch if you're interested in financing cars, not just necessarily things like this, but all the way through from whatever it might be, your dream car, dream supercar, dream hypercar, you never know. But obviously, yeah, making some progress again here at the Shmuseum. I think for today, that is all. Until next time.
Cheers!
Did he actually?